yet, but it is scary that we have someone in the White House that absolutely does not care about the Constitution and does not care about the law. But we knew this. As the only convicted felon to occupy the White House, he's never had any respect for the law, and I honestly don't see him changing his tune anytime soon. Now, we'll see if he ends up running up against a bunch of Eileen Cannon judges who will just ignore the law. But as of right now, I can tell you that at least one district court judge in D.C. has decided that she was going to swipe down some of his attempts. That doesn't deal with everything, though. And to be perfectly honest, the White House is saying one thing while the OMB office is sending out different things. We also know that the Medicaid website went down. It just so happens that it's allegedly a glitch at the same time that we are saying that no, the OMB said that some of these things are not allowed to receive funding. So, Head Start, Meals on Wheels, SNAP benefits, LIHEAP, rural electric funds, all these things are in limbo, as well as infrastructure projects where people literally made contracts knowing that they were getting this money. And so I am applauding those attorney generals in states that are democratically controlled, because those are the attorney generals that have decided to come together. And frankly, if the Republican states are not interested in seeking out the funds that I'm sure Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, the funds that I'm sure that they really need more than some of these other states, then frankly, that's okay. If they don't want their money, then don't get it. We'll take it all. So I do want to be clear about diversity, equity, and inclusion, because I think that that's really a good place to start. And I always talk to my colleagues, because every time they say quote unquote DEI, it's always now like their new slur for black folk, just to be perfectly honest. But diversity, equity, and inclusion includes so much more than that, right? It includes making sure that we're looking at people that are within the LGBTQIA community and making sure that they have protections. It's looking at making sure that those that come from rural America have protections. It's looking at women. It is looking at basically making sure that we are not just old straight white men. That's it. And it's making sure that everyone has an opportunity. It's making sure that those governmental agencies look like who we are in this country. And so I think that probably has to be the most urgent thing, because I think that it is all encompassing, and it's looking at our civil rights as a whole. In addition to the fact that what we're experiencing is they went after our education with the affirmative action decision. This is kind of a bleed over, but this all goes to economics, right? At a time in which we still can't get anyone to agree to raise the minimum wage, which hasn't been raised in probably close to 20 years now that we're going on, we see that the billionaire class is continuously, overnight, just making more and more money. I mean, the richest man in the world literally made like another $200 billion like in the few days after the election, right? And so what we've got to do is make sure that, number one, we're not allowing people to divide us, because I will be honest, we were divided in this election about trans folk. That's just a reality. And then Democrats started falling apart about trans folk because they felt as if it was seeping through. But if you allow them to divide us over trans rights, then they can divide us over immigration, which they did that as well. It's the division that is killing us, and the reality is that it's not really about whether or not you agree, like it, love it, or understand it. It's about understanding that this is supposed to be the land of opportunity and the land of the free for all. And so we've got to stand together. So the one plea that I will have is that I want us to stand together. Let's stand with our LGBTQIA community. Let's stand with our immigrant community. Let's stand with black folk. Let's stand with women. Let's stand together, because there's more of us than there are of the select few that are pushing this white supremacy agenda. We cannot get caught up in it. And when you look back at the playbook of Hitler, when you look back at the playbook of the KKK, it never was just about black people. It's the exact same people that they're pointing fingers at and that they went after. And so I am encouraging everyone to stand together.